Hello there and welcome to None of Your Business, the podcast that takes a lighthearted look at life outside of work. Joining me today is an awesome guest. Her name is Hayley Worley. She's the co-founder and she was the CEO, now the creative director of the Sheet Society, which is probably one of the country's most recognisable sleepwear, bedding and now pyjama wear brands in resting. So we actually recorded in her bedroom, which she was very generous in sharing with us, and spoke about being a mum of 3 young children, her bedtime routine and getting the kids down, balancing obviously that work-life juggle and transitioning from being a CEO to a creative director, and also her creative side and exploring that. Something she's touched on recently has been sort of getting more engaged in her spirituality, which I found really interesting, but also this exciting new frontier and getting back into her designer sort of roots and designing this new resting collection, which we're actually wearing in the podcast itself. So hope you enjoyed the episode.
So where's the office? Back at Division?
Yeah, in the office, baby.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.
Welcome to None of Your Business. Today I'm joined by an amazing guest. She's a close friend of ours, an incredible entrepreneur, Hayley Worley from the Sheet Society, which is such a big brand now. You probably pinch yourself, to think about how big it is in the Australian sort of zeitgeist. Full credit to you, but you've been very generous today in having us in quite a sacred space, which is your bedroom.
Our bedroom,
yes.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome anytime.
That's very kind. I will not take you up on that, but I appreciate the offer nonetheless. No, Hayley, I mean, I first just want to say you have such a beautiful house, and I feel like you guys have worked so hard for so many years. It's been under a decade or just almost a decade.
We'll be 10 next year.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously in that time you've had a family and you've run a business with your husband and so many things, but it's very generous of you to welcome us into this space, which is obviously, as I say, a sacred place. But I want to kind of get to some things that I guess people wouldn't quite know Hayley for, or sort of the founder of such a big brand. And I want to first ask about your bedtime routine.
Yeah, I guess being a founder of a bedding brand, you would think it would be this lovely, serene bedtime routine. But like you said, we've got 3 kids. I've got a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So it's absolute chaos. Yeah, just trying to get them in the bath and then their pajamas and then brush their teeth. And then, I don't know, at the moment I'm putting them all to bed and it's kind of like 8:30 and we get in here and we're like, oh, thank God, peace and quiet. And then one comes out and push them back and the next one comes out. So yeah, we're not the best at a bedtime routine at the moment, but that's just the season of life that we're in.
That's a good way of putting it, because I feel like with us that sort of 8:30 to 10:30 window is like, that is just the most precious time for yourselves to just do whatever you want to do. TV.
Yeah.
I need that time in my life. And as you say, often it is interrupted and it is a seasonal thing. But I guess in terms of like things that you do for yourself in that window, like, are you reading before you go to bed? Are you watching a program? Like, how do you wind down personally? Are you doing any meditation?
Yeah, I try to read before bed. It doesn't always happen. Usually I'm kind of like, okay, I can tick 4 things off my to-do list if I just spend half an hour on my phone, which is not the best. I do a lot of meditation, actually. Yeah, I recently came back from a 10-day meditation retreat.
Yes, I want to get to that because that is pretty full on.
It was a bit cult-like, but 10 hours a day of meditating, really life-changing. So
Phenomenal.
I try and integrate that into my wind-down routine. And if I'm ever feeling a little bit stressed, it just takes like 20 minutes of meditation to kind of snap out of it. And
Amazing.
then you can kind of get a better sleep through the night, which is really important.
And what's a good sleep for you? Like, as a mum of 3 and running a business and all of that, like what would you quantify as a good night's sleep?
I try and get 8 hours. I think it's quite
You do?
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's part of our bedtime routine you spoke about earlier. If the kids see us doing something fun after they go to bed, that's harder for them to get to sleep. So we like to kind of just pretend we're asleep too. So we're usually right asleep by like 9:30 anyway.
That's good. You often feel like sometimes you pretend to go asleep and you fall asleep anyway.
Yeah, it's great.
Are you like a lucid dreamer? Or, I mean, obviously you sleep pretty well because you also get to wear this beautiful resting gear, which is a new addition to the Sheet Society offering. But like, are you someone who remembers their dreams and has good recollection with your sort of mindfulness and meditation? Does that feed through into that?
I do, yeah. I'm so in awe of like what the mind does when you're asleep. So I love it when I wake up and I remember a dream, or I feel like I've had these weird experiences where something in real life has happened and you're like, oh my God, this weird thing was in my dream like months ago. I don't know, has that ever happened to you?
You know what? You're right. It's like scenarios. It's almost like being like in a film or like a scene playing out where you're like, oh, I even think that happened yesterday where I almost like visualized like this like coffee shop setting and kind of how it played out was exactly how but I don't remember as many as I'd like to. I feel like I should start like having, you know, a journal next to the bed and write down those moments because they do escape you. Like I've got very poor short-term memory. Long-term memory, fantastic, but short-term, I find it really challenging.
Yeah.
But I guess also like the juggle of like getting your kids down. And so for us, our guys come into the bed every night. So we get them
Both
into
of
their own
them?
bed. Yeah, at the moment. So as you say, seasonal, we get them down and they sleep in their own beds, but they always migrate. Yeah. And it's hard because obviously you want to have that great night's sleep. But also, you know, that's, as you say, only a finite period you're going to get that kind of cuddle and sort of, well, it's not much of a cuddle for me. It's more so just like legs in the face and, you know, our daughter cuddling up to Danny but just kicking me everywhere. But like, are you guys, do you try and be sort of rigid with that? You're like, no, beds, your own beds? Or
No, we at least end up with one in the morning. Yeah. But they kind of toddle in maybe at like 4 or 5, so it's not super
too bad.
disruptful.
You've kind of had that rest and that wind down.
Yeah, and the 1-year-old, he's still in a cot, so as long as he's in the jail, he can't go anywhere.
No, great sentiment in sharing. I guess I want to sort of go into that that meditation and mindfulness and spirituality lens with you because I know, as you said, it's been a big part of sort of your life recently, and you did this huge undertaking where you've gone away to this retreat. I'll let you tell it in your words. 'Cause it's pretty incredible. I couldn't do it personally. I don't think I have the fortitude.
I believe you could.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I don't know. This is pretty. Brace yourselves, listeners and viewers. This is pretty full on.
I guess my story is. I started the business back in that girl boss era. Do you remember when it was like, 2017, 2018, Millennial Pink was huge and like e-com businesses were just growing so fast.
Booming,
it was just post that kind of Instagram wave of brands and I was just hustling so hard. I know that's a bit of a dirty word right now, hustle, isn't it? But I just worked my absolute ass off for, I think 2 years since I started the business. And then when I fell pregnant with Jake, it was just me and a girl that came in to pack the orders. And I was kind of like, how are we going to keep this business going whilst going on mat leave too? Yep. And so at the time, my husband was kind of doing the books in the back end and I was trying to find a mat cover. And he was like one day, I don't know how to do everything you do, but I know a lot about the business and I care about it deeply. So he decided to quit his job and come and be my mat leave cover, which was just so complex at the time because it was essentially having our first child. We didn't own a home and we would have both been technically unemployed for this business that's not making any money. So that was pretty stressful. Yeah. And I was quite mindful when I had Jake, he's 7 now. I didn't want to not give that my all as well. And so I really tried to kind of take a step back from the business, really focus on motherhood for I think I took 4 months off, which was huge because work was my life for 2 years. And then, kind of coming back into the business, kind of juggled it all at the same time. And I remember when Andy joined the business, before he joined the business actually, I would come home and I'd be like, Andy, I'm so busy. I'm trying to make this work, but all I do is pack orders. I can't work on any growth projects. And I'm like, I need to hire someone. And he would do the back end, the books, and he would look at it and be like, no, you're not making any money. You can't hire anyone. And so then when he joined the business, he was like, Hayley, we've got to hire someone. So I'm like, well, thank you. So he hired someone right as I was having Jake, and literally the business just grew because we could get out our own way. So he thinks it was him joining the business.
That put the rocket into it.
So it was just flying. And around about the same time COVID happened too. So we were kind of navigating that when it was first a China thing, right? Do you remember when we were like, oh, poor people over there?
Yeah, exactly. Not in my backyard, it felt like it was such a foreign concept,
Our manufacturers are over there. So we're like, oh God, if they get shut down, we won't have any stock. And so we had 4 or 5 maxed out credit cards and we just were like, okay, we've got to buy as much stock as possible before the factories get shut down. And then in the end, obviously, COVID came here and it came here at the same time as this huge order. And so people kind of got locked in their houses and were able to just spend money on things at their house. And so we were in the right place at the right time with the stock and the business.
Comfort wear.
Gosh, it just grew so much. I'm in lockdown. I got like a baby. I was pregnant again with my second child when Jake was 1. And then we were hiring so many people just to help. Like through the start of COVID, we were 4. And then at the end of COVID, we were 35. So that's like onboarding and like making sure people know like what they're here to do and like selling the dream.
And culture as well when you're obviously, you know, sort of physical versus, you know, digital and
So then navigating, I guess, that girl boss in me, but then also this like new mum and all these pregnancy hormones. And I had 2 under 2 at that stage. And I was just kind of figuring out like me and my body and what I wanted to do. And it was just like this perfect storm of like, I'm doing too much here. And I remember I had a leadership coach at the time and he's like, okay, well, you just need to do these 3 things. And I just looked at him, I was like, but I don't want to do these things. And I'm like, I couldn't work it out because I love the business so much and I love my kids. But I was just like a bit numb inside because I just like this wave of growth has just like come over me. And like, I'm not saying this is like a poor me, but it was just a lot to deal with at that time.
Oh, of course.
So I think, maybe when the kids were like 2 and 3, that's when I kind of hit a wall and I was like, okay, I need to take some time off and take some time away from the business. And I mean, you would know with your partner who runs a business and tries to navigate
for sure
family, it's a really hard thing to do.
A lot.
And I didn't really take that mat leave with the second child. And so I kind of just said to everyone in the business, I'm going to take mat leave now. And I'm just going to take 6 months off. And I did. And I just like really started to wind down. I went to an amazing retreat over in New Zealand and just learned how to like breathe again. Like I feel like my breath was just so short for so many years. And I'm a real creative person, but I think when you're just hustling that hard and you've got so much on your plate, like that creativity is just like so deep under the to-do list that it can't come out. And so there was this sense inside of me that like I wasn't utilizing my skills. Like I could be a doer, but I wanted to be more of a feeler and a creator. And so, I mean, before that, I was so anti-woo-woo. I met a girl once and she's like, I charge my crystals in the moonlight. And I was like, oh, save me. But then after that, I just really slowed down and opened up a little bit more to it. And I'm really enjoying just like, I don't know, being more at peace with the world and like things happening for a reason. And I think as well, I found a bit of a identity crisis, you know, when the business succeeded, which it very much has, like it's gone well past what I thought it would be. You know, I started
credit to you and how hard you've worked. Everything. Sorry, I just wanted to check there with that.
Thank you. And I think it's important in your life that you can be like, this is everything I ever wanted. And so I felt like that was a really important space to sit in for a while. But then it comes time to be like, okay, well, if I've achieved everything I've ever set out to do, which is like have a beautiful family and have a beautiful business and create a life, like what's next? And like in a beautiful way, like yes, but then in another way, it's like, oh, okay, I feel a bit not empty, but like, what am I going to put on my plate now? So I think I've got this new trust in like everything happens for a reason. And I don't know, just going along with things rather than pulling things to me rather than pushing to get things. So it's opened up this whole new world of spirituality and growth and meditation. And the meditation retreat was a really interesting one. It's called Vipassana, which is a certain technique of meditation. And they've been teaching it for years and years. I think it's originally from Nepal. And so I went to a centre in Tasmania to learn it. And it's giving cult vibes. Because they separate men from women. And so you can't talk, you can't make eye contact with anyone, you can't touch anyone, and you're kind of in this tiny room, like my bedroom dorm thing. I could literally touch both sides of the wall with each hand.
Like,
I don't know. It was just really I don't know, desensitizing and not in like a bad way. They do it just to block out any outside noise. And that's so when you sit there and you meditate and you do that for 10 hours a day, there's nothing to distract you. And so your awareness becomes so much more heightened. And then, you kind of learn how to like harness the power of energy inside your body. And gosh, like what we are capable of by just using our minds is insane.
Well, how much do they say we use? Like we only use like less than like, I don't even want to throw it out there because I'll get it wrong, but it's a very small percentage, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that was a bit of a life hack.
Yeah.
But what was it? It was how many days?
10 days. So you did 10 hours a day of meditating.
That is
And there were
phenomenal.
3-hour-long sessions a day where it was called a determined sit. And
Right.
so you literally cannot move a muscle. And so you're sitting in a meditation hall. There was 12 girls and 12 boys. And it's like you could hear a pin drop because everyone is just sitting there so still.
Oh my God.
And it's lovely for the first we don't know what the time is,
No,
right?
did you feel
'Cause
every hour? yeah.
And so you could be there for 10 minutes, you could be there for half an
Yeah.
hour, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, some hours would go really quick and then other hours you're just like, fuck. And I just because the guy chants again and then you can kind of sit up again. And you're just like, please, can we end this
Yeah,
now?
oh my
It's
God.
so painful.
Yeah, such fortitude though. So did you were there times where you literally felt every minute of the hour you were like, this is just fucking dragging on? Or were you kind of sitting there like omnipresent and actually fully in the moment?
Bit of both. I mean, you're meditating for 10 hours a day. So there were times where it went really quick and there were times where you're like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
But just to be in that environment where there's no responsibilities. I mean, you get fed, like you don't
What are
have
you eating,
to.
like, if you don't mind me asking?
It's just all vegan food.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's run by volunteers.
Okay.
So they, if you've done the course, you can volunteer to serve again.
Right.
So yeah, you just don't have to think about anything, which is a really privileged place to be in.
Absolutely. I feel like there's only a few moments in time we get that's like where you like maybe get your car washed and you sit there for like 10 minutes when it's kind of going to the machine and you're like, oh, this is kind of a moment. Or when you get on a plane and maybe your kids aren't with you for that particular trip and it's like these little slices of freedom, if you will, for a moment. Not that you would rather that than the other. Obviously,
No.
would always prefer to have my children around me. But what was it like kind of assimilating back into home life and, coming back to the noise and the chaos and everything from that experience? Like, what did you take with you? And what was that first day like when you came home? Were you like, oh my God, sensory overload, I need a Macca's cheeseburger. What was it like?
It was hard because I had to get on a plane to fly back home from Tassie, and I was like, at the airport, they've got the scanning machines and there's like things going on, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I don't know, it's just this inner peace that now I carry with me, which sounds so cliche.
No, it's good to
But,
share. Like, it's important because people think that you actually are a living, breathing example of it.
Yeah.
You can like attest to it,
Yeah. So just life is more peaceful and like, so the purpose of the meditation, they say, is it cures unhappiness. And so they believe unhappiness is either craving after something or aversion, so moving away from something. And if you can sit in this moment of awareness where you don't want anything and you don't need anything, like that is just peace, right?
Content. Wow. And did you feel that? Like, did you actually experience that? Like, and there was a moment where you're like,
Yeah. Which is really interesting because obviously I've built my career on like commercial products and I'm definitely a consumer and I love consumer brands and I love fashion and so I love buying clothes and things like that. But then to go through this experience and realize like nothing actually matters, it was amazing. And I think it's like what I said before, knowing what success looks like, it's like nothing physical. Like it's not this bed, it's not this house, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling, which I'm probably in a privileged position because I've got so much other stuff to know that it's not that.
Yes.
But like how beautiful that everyone can access that feeling inside.
I reckon I felt it before. Like there's been these moments where like it's just like a flash in the pan where I'm like, I feel really fucking good, like about everything right now. Like it's all, and it's sort of almost like bottled up in this like little micro dose of, but I don't know if you've experienced that before as well. You obviously have, but it's so distinctive where you're like, everything just feels so great. And it's like, if I could just, obviously the happiest person in the world, if that was, always the case, but maybe you can access it a bit more than the average punter because of the work that you've done.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Yeah. Have you has there been anything recently where you've felt like you've been like total flow state and you're like, I just feel maybe this, I don't even know if it happens on a daily basis, but where you've been able to kind of tap into it, or you've had something recently, an experience where you've gone, fuck, it's all going great for me right now?
I think now with my role, Andy and I used to be co-CEOs.
Yes.
And now I'm the creative director and he's the CEO.
Yep.
Like my role is just bringing big ideas into the business, seasonal collections, but also kind of ways we can do business, what our store experience should look like, things like that. And I think previously I probably would have approached that as like I need to find the answer of this out now. Whereas now I'm kind of like, okay, if I just understand what the problem is I'm trying to solve and just put some space between having to solve it, it's like that's when the ideas come. I don't know, for you it's like...
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that. Like I, even, again, I'm going to sound a little bit fuddy-duddy maybe, but I remember like when I met Danny, like it was one of those things where sort of, had a couple of relationships and like really lovely, past girlfriends and, but I was in that kind of space between like, next steps in life and whatnot. And I think I just was like, I'm just going to try and focus on, it's going to sound very cliche, but like just focus on me and just like make myself feel good and do some exercise and like all that kind of stuff. And it's funny, I think I was permeating a better energy, or is it maybe a more desirable kind of offering than what I had, prior to that. But, and then it was just, as you say, like I felt like it was that universal kind of pull, whereas like, oh, like you've almost like you've met this person because you've sort of done the work and it's like you deserve this. I don't know how to kind of articulate it, but it was
That's
like,
exactly right.
It was really, beautiful to kind of like, oh wow, like made this happen. I think because I was, as you say, more content in just myself and whatever. I know that again sounds a bit whatever, but I think that is the way that it goes often, right?
100%, I believe that.
You give that energy and then that obviously attracts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been great since.
Yeah.
But creativity and kind of shifting gears, because you've done a lot, as you say, in this sort of concentrated period, and I can sort of see it in the sense that back at home with Danny, it was very similar growth and kind of, especially it's funny, like when you have, as you say, started this business and it's growing, but you've also had a child. And have you heard this term matrescence? I heard this podcast recently. It was brilliant. It was on the Imperfects, and I don't want to try and do justice to it because it's far better articulated on that program. So have a listen to it. But it's this idea of almost like transitioning from like another form of adolescence, if you will, but going from like a woman to a mother.
Cool.
And there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of, insights around, a lot is happening in that world and hormonal changes and shifts. And they've almost been able to obviously sort of like articulate what is actually happening.
Wow.
And obviously you've undergone that, before, and I recommend listening to it as well, but a lot of changes. And then for yourself to kind of make that shift from running the business to, as you say, being the ideas person. How did you navigate that, especially working with your husband and then also raising children? Like it's a lot kind of blending that, and you guys obviously do it really well, but it's not for everyone.
No.
Like, how did you find your way there?
It was really, really hard. So obviously, it was my idea for the business. I believed it so passionately. I really just ran at it so fast. And I am a real big advocate for like women in leadership roles, but I was in this leadership role and I just couldn't show up as I wanted to. And so I think personally, I found it really hard to leave the role of CEO and leave it to a man. Because our workforce is majority female, and I would love female representation at the top. But like you said, with navigating becoming a mum, like there were other things in my life that were priority, and that was the kids, and also my mental health. Like I take that role really seriously, and I just couldn't do all of those things at once. And that's not to say that no one can do all of those things, but I just don't think all at the same time.
I've heard that before. I think it's a great sentiment.
I agree. True. So we made that call to kind of split that off, and it worked really well for me now. I think it's just one of those decisions where you kind of make it and you're like, oh, am I doing the wrong thing? And it's like, okay, even if I am, I can probably reverse it, and like, let's just see how it sits for a while. And but I'm so much happier.
It's so good.
Just like I can just do the shit that I love doing. And like, it's not about the titles or it's less about how I feel everyone else needs me to be in the business, like the woman at the top, but it's more about like how I can contribute and how I can create a better presence around what I give back to the business.
Well, I remember you even saying, obviously pre-recording, you were talking about this idea of like that it's not a comfortable spot for you doing sort of like the panel talks or and thank you for doing the podcast, because it's obviously it's a bit sort of the the zone, but as kind of the leader of the business, so that's something that hasn't come naturally to you, and you've tried to kind of. I actually like your perspective around this idea of like, I just feel like it doesn't have to be like me per se, in the sense you're like, there are things that obviously I do and these functions, but some of those ceremonial elements are just not my character, and I wish I could just be that person that doesn't have to be that, and you've kind of made that happen, which is awesome.
I think it's a bit of give and take too, because I can see a world where the business would really benefit from me being more front and center and talking about the business more and talking about my journey and things like that. So I do think I need to push myself more to kind of be a bit more front facing. But
you've opened up your bedroom
thanks.
the world. So hopefully there's a few listeners, but I think that's it's a great step in the the right direction.
Yeah, it needs to come naturally though. Like I think before it was kind of a place of fear, like I've got to do this because that's what people expect. Whereas now I'm kind of leaning into more of like, okay, I'm going to do just what feels right and kind of grow from there. But it's a weird thing I think with females in business. It's kind of like everyone just wants to see like what their bedroom looks like and how they're juggling things. And so it's like, I feel like nowadays you can't have a brand without it becoming part of your personal life.
Yourself, and you don't want to sort of share too much of your soul, right? There are things you want to preserve and keep sacred, of course, right?
Yeah.
But what are you comfortable opening up and sharing? And I think you're right, it can be really useful though and constructive to see like, hey, here's how I do it, and your insight before, like you can't do it all at once, and here's how you've made it work. And but I guess tapping into that creativity. So were you always a creative person? Like as a child, were you had those expressions in those forms, or like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I was definitely. I loved my mum's sewing machine. Loved creativity. I was always out making potions and sandcastles. But I also had a real big entrepreneurial side. Like I used to play the flute, and I used to do busking on Christmas.
Busking, What were your jingles? What was your top kind of?
I would just do like 3 carols on repeat.
Yeah, play the hits.
Yeah, and by the time people had walked off, like I just start Silent Night again.
New audience.
Yeah, I had a fashion brand when I was right out of uni.
Did you?
Yeah,
I think Danny mentioned this. Yeah. What was that?
It's called Lacey, and so I did fashion at TAFE actually.
Okay,
because it was a bit more practical and hands-on, and so
Lovely.
we did the first year. I must have been 18, and then the second year they were like, okay, second year we pretend that we have a fashion brand and we go through all the steps, and I was like, why am I paying to go to uni to do this? Like, I'm just going to do it.
Yes.
And so I did it on the side, and it went really well. I sold it to like what was then like a glue store or whatever.
Oh, cool. That's pretty, like that would be mega back then.
It was huge for me. Yeah.
Like I'm killing it. You're going to like, what are those nightclubs? Like,
the girls were wearing my dresses. It was so cool.
This is amazing. Was that those Stevie t-shirts? Like they
it was that era.
Gold, and loved it. Good times. Ed Hardy.
Oh God. Such questionable fashion choices.
With you.
But it went so well. And then they called me up and they're like, cool, we've sold 40 and we want to order 200 dresses. And I was like, it's killed me. I can't keep doing this. I wasn't great on the finance side, but I think, I passed that year of self-uni.
Amazing. Yeah, the school of life.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. And then have you ever like more recently like gone back into like individual like pattern making and actually hand making garments? Is that something you have dabbled with, or like a little?
Funny you say that. When I started Sheet Society, I quit my full-time job.
Yes.
But Andy was like, you've got to still pay the rent, if you're going to do this business. And so then to make money on the side, I made wedding dresses.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you make your own wedding dress?
I did.
No way.
Yeah.
What a lovely like family artifact to have.
Yeah.
How long did that take you, that process?
It took ages. And it was very stressful. I don't
getting
think I'd
fucking
do it
frustrated with the
again.
bloody dressmaker who just can't get right.
I think it was like the week before the wedding. I'm like, I've got to pull this together.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like, can you describe your wedding dress if that's okay? Like in
Oh
terms
my God,
of,
I'll tell you the funniest thing. So it was like strapless with like hand-on lace, and then the skirt was like, it's quite full ones.
Yeah, yep.
And so I'd sewn all this skirt and I'd put it on and it just like would look like flat as a pancake. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I went to a dressmaking store. You can kind of get this boning that goes around. It's kind of like a hula hoop, right?
Nice.
And so I did that and I made this like underskirt and I put it on and just flattened it again. And I was like, what am I missing here? I need something that's like a bit like a tube, but like a little bit more structure. And so I went to Bunnings.
Great.
And so I'm in the aisle of Bunnings. This is the week before my wedding.
Incredible.
I'm stressed out of my eyeballs. And the lady comes up to me and she goes, can I help you? What are you looking for? And I was like,
best answer ever.
And so I'm like, I'm making my wedding dress. And she's like, Dal, I think you're in the wrong
store.
shop. And I was like,
that's awesome.
I think I'll find something.
Yeah.
And so I ended up walking down the aisle with irrigation hose under my wedding dress.
Oh, that is an awesome shit. Does that still remain? Like, have you still got it?
I think I do somewhere. And the funniest thing was, one of the guests that came to the wedding, she asked to borrow it. So it's been in 2 weddings, the irrigation hose.
Oh, that's incredible. Well done. But that is so, like, that's that ingenuity. And again, that's entrepreneurial spirit, like making it happen. I love that. Like, that really has translated obviously into like, what you've been able to build, that kind of, adopted mindset. So that's all credit and kudos to you for that.
So funny.
Have there been any other like creative expressions or like little quirky things you've had to do, like in terms of, or you found yourself tapping into that in a life situation? That's a pretty good example though. So it's hard to top. But I wonder other things that you do, like outside like dressmaking, pattern making, like.
I don't know. What else have I done along the way?
Do you miss it?
I don't really. No.
Like people make it far better than I do. It's too time consuming.
But you know what? The pajama brand's been awesome.
Yeah. Tell me about this. So this is new foray, and obviously offering by the business, but super exciting. bloody comfy.
You look great in the green.
I look like a little elf, I think.
Yeah, I'm
but it
here
is
for
so
it.
and green's my favorite color. I got to say, hands down. So you nailed it. Didn't even give you the brief.
So good.
Yeah. So have you been really like instrumental in kind of, it's been your.
Yep. I mean, not just me. We've got an amazing team.
Yeah, of
but
course.
we started Sheet Society, and it was always kind of supposed to be this fashion for the bed element. We've done pajamas a couple of times, like back in the day, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
And they've really worked well. But we wanted to kind of build on the sleepwear. And so we're kind of in this meeting. I'm like, do people want to wear the same labels on their pillowcase on their pajamas? And I'm like, I think we could create a brand that has a bit more of a perspective on rest. And so, we kind of all sat in a room and we're like, are we doing another business? So it was really lovely to create it all, and everyone in our team are kind of, most of them are ex-fashion anyway, so we kind of get the apparel space. We're obviously experts at making fabrics to sleep in.
Of course.
So that was a natural crossover.
Come back to that like full circle and kind of be back in that apparel space as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell me like what is like rest to you? Like, you know, in terms of rest and recharge, what does that look like, feel like, sound like?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be labelled. Like you said, like the moment in the car wash, that's rest, that's self-care.
Yeah.
It can be as elaborate as like a, I don't know, spa morning where you go and do a cold plunge sauna, whatever. Yeah. But it can also be like a 10-minute meditation. It's just being a bit more mindful. Like we said, it's just noticing, okay, I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm kind of just present. Yeah. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. And especially considering, as you say, juggling like, you know, a tribe of 3 and the little tackers as well. How have you found that sort of journey, as you say, sort of complementing both trying to grow the business? Like what was that like for you? Because I know like for us, like such a big identity shift and had no idea what we're in for. And, you know, just like the next day they're here and it's like, holy shit, we're just going to make it happen and whatever. Like what was that like amidst all the other sort of chaos of work, focusing on that side, the family life?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of carving out time for each, like knowing that you can't do both at the same time. Like you can't be there for the kids and be there for the business at the same time. And just we're really intentional now about like mapping out our year, and we're really sacred about holidays and spending that meaningful time with the kids. And if that means, you know, they're in after school care a few nights a week during the week, that's the type of sacrifice we make. So I feel like we're in a really good posse, and I feel like I don't know, I know you've got 2, maybe we can convince you for a third. No. But it felt like a nice like do-over in a sense. Yeah. Because Jake and Miller, we had them while it was just like so chaotic. And little Roy joined us like a year and a little bit ago.
Yeah, he's a chiller as well.
He's just the best. And so it's kind of like, okay, I know how to do motherhood now. Okay, I know the bits that matter. I know the bits that don't. I can kind of control that emotion a little bit more.
And as like a working mum, like any insights you can share, like things that have worked really well for you guys? As you say, I feel like, you know, preserving that sacred time and being really diligent and organised. But like, are there any sort of constructive insights you can say that have really especially helped when you're sort of in that space and the chaos of it all?
Yeah, I think for me, I feel quite privileged just to get help with the things that don't matter, like laundry,
of course,
and like getting a cleaner, and like the robot vacuum is the MVP
of
our house.
Like lawns, I heard as well. Is it? Yeah.
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 So
do the kids like
good.
jumping and stuff though? Like in terms of.
No, they're pretty good. They'll put things on it that kind of zhuzh around with it.
Yeah. Decorate it.
But yeah, and they're not like sweating that stuff.
Yes.
Like if the house is a mess, like that's not worth getting upset about when you give so much mental availability to the kids and work. So kind of just like lowering expectations sometimes.
That mental availability is a great sentiment. I really like that idea because I think that's something that probably I need to be more, cognizant of. I think probably I'm more, as you say, caught up in the small stuff sometimes. Yeah. And certainly need to have more grounding, as you say, and like in the scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. And trying to kind of put it in that context, I feel like is a really healthy way to go about it.
Yeah. And it's not until you kind of get stressed out and you're like, hang on, why am I so worried about this thing that's useless? So it's easy to say, hard to do. Yes. But nice to reflect on and be like, okay, I told myself that doesn't matter if it's 2 weeks between changing the sheets or 3. So just
that could be like blasphemy though, running a sleepwear company, and like you probably is that going for terms and conditions?
Make the rules, surely.
Yeah, exactly. You're the boss. That's so true. And what about like, are there any other like things that like you do for Hayley? Like what do you do for you outside of, obviously you got the meditation and mindfulness happening, but are any other little things that you're doing to kind of build up your world and to remain an individual and kind of?
Yeah, I think social connections are really important for me, like making time for my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a lovely group of girlfriends. It's 10 of us that we've known each other since high school.
I all get in touch and still, that's awesome.
And it's beautiful because they don't care what I do for work or like how busy it is with the kids. It's just about being with them. So I'm trying to really fill my cup socially.
What are you guys doing? What kind of activities are you up to?
We're in the 40th birthday circuit, actually.
Yes, epic. Yes,
So-
yeah. I thought yours is going to trump. I thought yours. I've got the invitation is going to trump like a fair few in terms of expectations.
Yes.
Pretty excited.
Yeah, so I'm the last one out of my friends to turn 40, so we're going to go out with a bang.
Oh, good.
But that's been really nice.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, just being like really present with the kids. We got a caravan late last year.
Tell me about this. This is epic.
It's so nice.
Yep.
I think going to hotels with kids and like being at nice restaurants or even like being
Don't
at
even
our
bother.
restaurant with
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just nightmare. Like one knocks the salt off the table and
Oh.
it smashes everywhere,
Gotta
and then
remove
a fork
any
goes that
paraphernalia off
way,
the
and
table,
it's
yeah.
just like so stressful.
I'm with you.
And so the caravan, you just fill it up with food and the kids, and you just park it wherever. Like we
Yes.
spent 2 weeks in Tassie, just driving around, stopping.
Silent
Cool, should we
treat with the
stay
kids.
there? Yeah.
Okay, guys.
But yeah, they can't break anything. They
Yeah.
can like make little friends with everyone at the caravan park.
Yes, the big
and
fours. Shout out.
yeah, we're in nature and all
Yeah.
together, and like we don't need much. Like it's a tiny little space that we're sleeping in.
Yeah.
but it's
But you
just,
still got the Sheet Society
Oh, of
bedding.
course. Yeah, all the kids do. We've
Very
got
important.
The
Yeah, yeah.
bunks and then our
Yeah.
bed. But it's
Very
just
chic.
so nice.
Yeah.
Like not having to book a restaurant, not having to check out in a certain time in a hotel, like
Yeah.
not having any restaurant reservations.
Yes.
Like you're just away from life and you're all together, and it's beautiful.
And you sort of strike me as like a bit of an earthier soul, as you say, in terms of like tapping into that. Like, so nature outdoors, is that something that you sort of, you know,
love.
in touch with, or have sort of been exploring more? Or
Yeah, I think with the kids, I find it really regulates their emotions
Yes.
more. Like they wind right down when we're kind of out having a walk or on the beach. Like I don't know any other place that they would play for 2 hours uninterrupted
Yeah,
than
beach.
digging something in the
yeah,
sand.
whacking with the water.
Yeah.
And yes.
And I think it's good for everyone. Like I'm happy to be there. I'm not at a play centre.
Yes.
They're happy to be there. They've got all the space to run around they
Yeah.
need to. So I
Yeah.
think it's like a good win-win.
And what about other like travel adventures with the kids? Have you guys braved like overseas, or have you done that? Have you?
Yeah,
retained
we've
it, or-
done that a few times actually.
And how do you find it? And tips, because I think it's easier said than done for sure.
Yeah, I think tips is just lower expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were once in like some ridiculous like 36-hour commute to get back home, and like we're walking around the airport and we were just saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Kids like, can I have a Kinder's Prize?
Take
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Can I have this? Yes. Like
Yeah.
it's just not my battle to fight.
Oh, I know. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's so feral.
They can, but
Yeah.
I think it's important just to go though.
Yes.
Like it's not worth stressing out about something that you can't control. And I think if you just go and figure it out, you're fine. I
Yes.
think it's a nightmare, and the jet lag and the travel time, but the other option is not going.
Yes.
And that doesn't fill my cup.
And I think the other thing people say is like holidays and travel for kids is like, obviously their life is very routine based. All of ours are really,
Yeah.
but this sense that like it obviously is a bit of a disruptor to that routine, and it's something that does stick out for them and us. It's like
Yeah.
there's always those family holiday memories that are the sort of most fond. When I
Yeah.
look at my child, I'm like, oh, remember we did that, and
How's that statistic? It was like you only get 9
yes,
summers
something like
with your kids.
yeah.
It's like,
oh my god, I know. You're right, it hits you. Has there been like a travel experience that you guys have had as a family that's like stuck out the most, and you're like, oh, this is really one for the ages and special, or for the other reason?
yeah, last year we went to Ibiza.
Oh my
We
God.
took 3 kids to Ibiza.
Yeah, to the clubs.
We went to the club. The kids didn't come.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it was so fun.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, we hired a boat with some family and friends, and
epic.
it was just really good because it showed us that like even though we have 3 kids, we can still just live the same life.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Get out there and do it and see the world and just make it
Yeah.
happen. And that's really special.
Yeah, it was epic.
Oh, that's amazing. And sort of again, like going back to that wind down resting notion, like is there anything that like you're doing right now for yourself, like a show that you're watching or a book that you're reading or a podcast that you're really into that's sort of, resonating or
Yeah, probably
pertinent in
not
your life?
like more of a wind down thing. I'm really into Industry. Have you seen Industry? Oh,
epic show. Oh
so
my God.
good.
I
But that's not a wind down because I
It's not a TV show. It's probably a bit more, isn't it? It's borderline's another thing. It's sort of like the Euphoria adjacent, isn't it?
Yes.
In terms of,
Yeah.
where are you into it and what are you up to?
I've just finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
What a
good.
turn.
I know.
Were you expecting that for Yaz?
No.
Oh
wow.
my good Lord.
I know.
What a change of pace and direction, hey?
How good next season though.
Oh,
I'm ready.
yes. I can only imagine. I feel like they're going to go deep down that political route. But
Yeah.
Harper's so good.
So good. Such good storyline.
Isn't it? Have you ever I remember coming across on a flight, we had Sarah Snook on our flight to America one
Cool.
time.
She's at the play centre all the time.
Oh, there you go. Seems like a really
Yeah.
lovely person and was having a good time on the plane. Like, knocking back the drinks, and this is sort of peak succession. So I remember watching it on the plane. I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching Shiv Roy. And she's like, that was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, like HBO, like prestige TV is something that has very much been in my ether. Like, what have I been watching recently? Obviously, like White Lotus is obviously
cool.
the hits.
Yeah. Euphoria, have you got that?
Oh,
yet?
are you watching that?
Yeah.
Oh, heavy. It's a real twist, isn't it? Like a real
Yeah.
change of pace. Are you enjoying where it's going?
Yeah,
or?
I'm loving it. Yeah, I feel
worried.
like last season was for the girlies, but this is just like, woof.
It's a different show.
Yeah.
It really is. And like the satirical nature of,
Yeah.
playing up the Sydney Sweeney kind of almost.
Wow.
She's doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this like funny meme where it was like wife to husband almost, or the husband to wife, like, oh, we should watch, like, I've heard Euphoria is a really good show. Like there's a lot in it. It's like, oh, I know what you're trying to do. Pretty racy, but that's not a wind down show. Do you have like an antidote to that where you watch that sort of high impact, but then you've got your kind of comfort watch?
No, I don't really have a comfort watch at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably maybe reading a book is a bit more. I used to be really into like self-help books, and I've had to really wind back down from that.
Really?
Because it felt like I was just reading a slide deck. And when I get
Is it
into
something
bed.
that you're like, you are into, like, that is like was there a book that was really formative for you that you're like, yes, that's the Bible? Like, I mean, Danielle likes like Shoe Dog. She's like, oh, as a footwear kind of.
There was one called Traction that I really loved.
Traction.
Yeah. And it's not about like getting the growth. It's just about like little things that happen every day that kind of compound. And it felt like that way of thinking felt like I was making wins every day rather than like, oh, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So that thinking really helped for me.
What about like anything like fiction based where you like
Yeah, I'm
love
trying to do
escapism?
that.
Or listening to Tommy Little was saying he was reading like, was it before like elven porn or something, or was it no?
Oh, like dragon porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girlies at work are really into dragon porn.
Wow. I've never heard of it until today.
Not my vibe.
Yeah, no.
I'm probably not more fantasy. I've read one recently called Heart the Lover, which was really beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just like this love story. They're like young and in love, and then they kind of come together again at the end of their life.
That's
so
beautiful.
I'm really
The Dear
forcing
John sort of
myself, to read a little bit more.
Interesting. It's funny, like for me, I don't know about yourself, like that escapism. So like going to the movies, I am a sucker for going to the cinemas by myself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's weird, but love it. Like just in terms of you're so locked into that zone.
Yeah.
But then also books, I was like saying, it's funny, like my like fondness, I'm not a big reader, but I love the Hunger Games trilogy, and obviously they've now done some other books. I'm reading one of them currently, the new one that's coming out, a different film, and I think it's called Sunrise on the Reaping. But it's weird. It's like, kids killing each other.
Okay.
But at that time, I was like having these challenges, like sort of with my mental health, and it was a real comfort thing. And it was funny that like, that's my kind of go-to in this world where I feel really like safe, or it's like I often watch those films, like every year I have to watch them. And once I start one, I've got to go through the whole trilogy.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And then isn't that strange though, that like that kind of place, and I think it's probably more so where I was in my life, that was just the thing that I've deferred to as like a comfort mechanism, and it's children murdering each other.
Yeah, it's a bit wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a sicko. I am a little bit.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want a yuck yo yum.
And from a like a merry moments, we have this kind of, obviously you know Danny very well, but the Oberon boot is sort of the new boot that they've released. Have you had your favourite travel or adventure, sort of story you've been on? Has it been somewhere post kids? Obviously you mentioned Ibiza, but something you and Annie did before you had children, or something you did yourself, like a bit of an eat, pray, lovey situation? Has it been a trip that you've been on that's just, quite formative for you? Or?
We love travel. Like Annie and I, since we met, we knew each other for like 4 weeks, and we decided to go traveling together.
Yeah.
So we used to live in Canada. We bought a car in Canada, and we drove it to Panama, like through all through Mexico, all through Central America. And so that was so formative. And I remember we had this moment where we were like, I don't know, camping on a beach because we were poor. We couldn't afford a hotel. And I remember we were looking into each other's eyes and we're like, let's remember this forever, because when we go back to the real world, we won't get to see each other all day, every day. And now we share an office together.
Yeah.
We see each other all day, every day.
So what was that like? So tell me through this, like, so plotting that journey, that's incredible. So were you both, how old were you when you travelled from?
I think we would have been like 23, 24.
Working like sort of, this is a holiday, you're taking annual leave, and it was like, we're going to.
No, we quit our jobs. We worked at a ski hill in Canada.
Okay.
For the winter, we worked at like a restaurant in summer. Saved up enough cash to just travel for a year. And
wow. Any like hairy moments on that trip where you're kind of in these foreign lands and like could go a certain certain way? Like
yeah, we ended up in jail.
What did you do? Here we go. Here's a scoop.
That's a story for another time.
Okay, yeah, right. I also had friends similar, found themselves in like a prison in Germany for something that was like really like niche and like, you know, sort of like whatever, but like 7 weeks, and it was like a hardened prison. And they were like with like murderers and the whole works.
Oh,
and I remember it's quite a funny story. He's like, oh, well, I was trying to rent like local, like the books from the library, like in terms of the prison library. And it was like Harry Potter. And they're like, oh, I'm really sorry, sir. Cellmate number 127 actually has the full transcripts, and it was his mate. Like, so he's like, bloody hell. He's like, he's always, you know, still my thunder.
That's so
But
funny.
so you'd had that happen. So that's
we weren't there for 7 days. We were only there for a few hours.
A few hours, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But any other sort of like, you know, forks in the road, pardon the pun, where you're like, oh.
Yeah, heaps. But that's all part of learning, right?
Yeah.
And I actually think that travel is one of those skills that is so transferable to like entrepreneurship, right? You know, when you were backpacking and you're younger and like you turn up to a hostel, you don't know anyone, but you got to make sure you're like going to the right bar tonight or hanging out with the right people, and you're kind of like doing it on a budget too. Like, I feel like having been through the whole entrepreneurial journey, it's exactly the same as that situation. You know, you've got to make things happen. You've got to use people to enhance your experience. You've got to budget. You've got to hustle. You've got to make sure you're seeing the right things and doing that. So, you know, whenever anyone leaves our business to go traveling, I'm like, yes, like this is so great for you.
You're very industrious. Would you like recommend that for obviously your own children when they get to that age? Like, is it like gap year and just go and see the world and do it and don't have it figured out? Just, you know, is that something you're sort of really endorsing of?
Yeah, like how good's that? Just for like learning about life and having perspective. Like there was one time that Andy and I were driving the car, but we sold the car, and so we had to pack our things into like suitcases because we were doing the last leg, just backpacking. Yep. And so Andy's like, let's have a garage sale. And so we're having this garage sale in a park in Nicaragua. Wow. And this guy comes up, and I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hats that we were selling. And he was like, why have you got 3 or 4 hats? And I was like, oh, you know, the different hats. And he's like, no, but you only need one hat. Like a hat just does one job and you only need one of them. And I was like, this is so deep, but so true.
I wasn't prepared for this. Yeah. Well, you're very industrious. I'll give you that. Like, what do you think, what do you hope, I guess? Like, obviously, you know, having been so accomplished, and take that as a compliment, like what do you hope the next phase of, you know, life looks like for yourself, given that, as you say, your kids getting a bit older and kind of you've, you know, got the business up and running and it's doing really well and you're starting to tap into these different elements. Like, what do you want the next phase to look like for Hayley?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't really articulate it. I think it's got lots of creativity into it. It's like creating opportunities for other people. Like I think the sleepwear brand has been awesome for everyone in the business to feel like they've built something together.
Yes.
Like it's very rare for someone in their career to actually launch a new brand and to have the backing of Sheet Society behind it. And for everyone to contribute quite meaningfully for that. So that's really filling my cup, not just that the brand is growing, but that people are growing alongside it and feel that same sense of pride and ownership.
That's lovely.
And then with the kiddies, I don't know, I just want them to be great people.
Yes.
I just want them to just like care for each other and to just have this like perspective on life that I think travel's really afforded me.
Yes.
So just not raising assholes.
No, it's a really good point. Like, you feel so deeply. It's like the emotional labor of like carrying when you get feedback around your child, or like even with one of our children, like sort of areas of growth and development, and you just can't help but like wear it and go like, oh, have I not done the right job here? Or and you're right. I think like we have focused fundamentally and solely on trying to go like good person first and foremost, kind heart, good soul, all of that kind of stuff. But it's really funny when you have kids, you just can't help but adopt all of that. And I wasn't prepared for that, I've got to say. It's definitely something that's been quite confronting.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but hopefully we'll get through it. So like, how do you feel about what's ahead for you? Like this next phase, are you excited? Are you
super
open?
excited? Yeah, I'm so open to. Yeah, there's nothing that I'm pushing for, so I'm just kind of pulling things my way. And I think who knows? Like, I'm so open to everything, and I'm like so content with not knowing. I think if I'd have had this answer like 4 or 5 years ago, it would have just been like, oh my God, what? You don't know what you're doing? You don't have a plan?
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, just I feel happy every day, and I feel content with what's ahead, and just so much peace.
Oh, it's a good way to be. And you've done the work, which I got to credit you for. I mean, not many people, as I say, can commit to even that retreat itself. But
I think you should do it.
What's the daily practice for you? Like, is there anything that you have done that's like mindfulness meditation sits as like, that's the first thing I do at the start of the day, end of the day? Is there anything that you do that you think is like a little bit of a secret sauce or recipe you can give us? As
Not religiously.
No.
Yeah, I think it's probably just more like course correcting through the day. If it's
Yeah.
like, okay, why am I stressed out about something that doesn't matter? Okay, coming back to like, okay, there's a bigger picture here. So yeah, I'm not really like into the rituals. I feel like I've got quite an obsessive nature, so I feel like if I set myself a ritual and I don't do it, I feel like I'm failing.
Yes.
So I just kind of take it as it comes.
Oh, I admire your way of being, Hayley. I think that's a really profound sort of, state. And obviously, again, just want to congratulate you on everything you've done and all the opportunities you're providing, as you say, and the excitement of your journey. It's been a real thrill to talk to you. Thank you for being so generous and opening up not in your house, but your bedroom to us, this sacred space. It's been such a joy to talk to you because you are so lovely, such a warm nature. But I really admire the work that you've done, and this place that you're at is no surprise to me, or kind of, as I say, you deserve everything that's come your way and all that is ahead of you as well.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Been a pleasure. Thank you, Hayley. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.